It was just such a compelling picture in terms of the human elements that exist in Baton Rouge. It was an easy decision to say, yeah, we're going to leave the Phoenix desert. We're going to enter a completely different part of the world with a completely different history, a completely different social fabric, and we're going to stand up our school model there. The reason we aspired to do that is because of all the fine people who lead this community.
This day is another step in a long journey to improving educational outcomes for children in our community. So many people and organizations, as Jay shared, that have come before us today have led us to this moment that we should celebrate and be excited about what's to come for generations of Baton Rouge students who will walk the halls of Great Hearts Harveston. Schools like Great Hearts Harveston represent opportunity. They represent opportunity for families, they represent opportunity for students, and they represent opportunity for the Baton Rouge that we can become. Expanding this access to excellence for all of the students who will be served by Great Hearts Harveston is something that we should all be so proud of on this special day as we break ground on the first Great Hearts School in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge.
We are excited to welcome Great Hearts to our district. We will do our best to help them prosper, and we hope to learn from their unique approach. A thriving and strong public school system is a building block for what makes a city great.
We hope the school offers a home of sort, and what a home like this offers is an imprint or a formation on the intellect and on the soul that leads students to feel connected and at home wherever they are. We're honored to have been welcomed to your home, and we pledge to make sure that we continue to make good on our promise and offer a community, a home, worthy of the welcome you've shown us. So thank you and welcome.
1, 2, 3.
Darn it, forgot about the mic there. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our virtual info night. My name is Samuel Heisman. I am the head of school at Great Hearts Harveston. You may have just seen us in that groundbreaking, and you are inquiring today. You're wanting to know about enrollment because we are a classical liberal arts charter school. I want to talk briefly because we saw a lot of people on the sign-up list for tonight who are new to our event. So I wanted to talk briefly about what that word classical means when we say classical education. So where else have you heard the word classical? Maybe when talking about cars, classic cars, like Stingrays, etc. Classical music, or classic rock music even. Classical art. What do all those words have in common? Like when we say classic car, and we're referring to a Mustang, we're referring to Mustangs as they were in 1967, 1990, and 2022. There is a type, there is a continuity in form, and there is an ideal to which all Mustangs conform. So in education, similarly, classical refers to an ideal way of educating, right? And there are a couple points here under the ideal way of educating that I want to get across. One such ideal is the curriculum. Classical education seeks to unite students with the past, with all of the wisdom of the Western tradition, not separate us from the past, not act as though it hasn't happened, but unite ourselves with the wisdom of the past, and unite ourselves with the wisdom of the past in all disciplines. A classical education is broad. That's another part of the ideal curriculum. It is broad in that our students take math, science, humanities in the form of history and literature, and they take fine arts, and they take a foreign language every year. These disciplines were taken in the liberal arts curriculum across generations, from the founding fathers all the way back to early Europe, all the way back even before that to ancient times. Students were educated this way in order to have major influence in their society and community. Another way in which we're classical is that we have high expectations of the student and what they're capable of. We say that they are the primary drivers in their own education, the primary agents in their own education, and that they are capable of doing hard things and achieving great things. But that doesn't happen in a vacuum. So another ideal of a classical education is that all of that high achieving, all of those wonderful questions that are asked. All of that wonderful study is done under the gaze of a watchful and loving teacher who will not only pay attention to the best and the brightest, but is responsible for all the souls in their classroom. It happens in the gaze of a loving, watchful teacher, but also in the gaze of a community of teachers and educators and parents. So now more about the formal pathway to that classical education. I would like to introduce to you Miss Keisha Johnson, my founding director of campus operations. She is going to walk us through the open enrollment process, and that starts for us. Your first chance to become part of the Great Hearts Harveston family starts for us on October 8th. But Keisha, I'm going to hand it off to you. Walk us through open enrollment and all things logistical at Great Hearts Harveston.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. We are excited to offer our school services to the greater Baton Rouge area. We will be opening of August of 2023 for the 23-24 school year. We will open K-7 at first, and we will add a grade each additional year until we reach grade 12. From there, I can tell you the breakdown of what we'll have for each grade. Our student population will consist of kindergarten. We will have 4 sections, which will be 30 students per class for a total of 120 seats. For grades 1st through 5th, we will have 3 sections in each grade with 30 students per class for a total of 90 seats in each grade. For 6th grade, we will have 3 sections, 25 students per class, a total of 75 seats. For 7th grade, we will have 2 sections, 50 students per class for a total of 50 seats. Our student-teacher ratios will be, for kindergarten through 5th grade, it will be 15-1, and for 6th and 7th grades, it will be 25-1.
Darn it, mic was off again. You got me. All right, Keisha, thank you so much for helping us with that brief overview of class sizes and when we will open. I'd like to get to some pre-populated, pre-submitted questions about enrollment, that process by which people apply to become part of our community. All right, first pre-submitted question, Keisha, is enrollment a lottery, or is it if you register that you are accepted?
That is a great question. We will require a lottery by state law if we exceed any capacity in any grade. So if I have 28 applications or 29 applications and we only had 25 seats in kindergarten, then we would absolutely have to have a lottery. And what that process will look like is each student in the lottery that have submitted an application during open enrollment qualifies for the lottery, and you'll be assigned a number, a random number, and the lottery will be totally random, so it's non-biased, and there's a fair shot for everyone getting an offer after the lottery is taking place.
All right, next pre-submitted question. When will families receive acceptance or waitlist notifications? When are we going to know if we got in, Keisha? Tell us.
Well, I wish I could let you know today, but I can't. So all notifications, whether you're receiving an offer or you're going on the wait list for just a short, brief period, those notifications will go out on December the 19th. And that is regardless to whether we have a lottery or not. All notifications will go out on December 19th.
Very good. Now, for those of us with more than one child, I myself have 4 school-age children. So for those of us who have more than one child, if one gets in, will the others get priority? Do siblings have any priority if one of the lot is accepted?
Yes, absolutely. We are glad to offer sibling preference, which means if one of your scholars gets accepted or have an offer extended to them, then your other scholars that may be on the wait list have the opportunity to move up on the wait list because they'll have that sibling preference applied to their application. And so how that goes is if a family before you gets accepted, has a scholar that gets accepted, there's other siblings will have sibling preference, and you will move up in chronological order behind each additional family that has been accepted prior to you that has that preference.
All right, very good. And I see Bobby Nielsen has submitted a question here, and I would encourage all of our attendees to submit questions in the chat, no matter what platform you're using, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Please do submit questions in the chat. They will come to us. What about SPED? I guess there's a couple ways to answer this question, right? SPED is a vital part of our mission. Our mission is to cultivate the hearts and minds of our students to the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. And we want SPED students to do that as well. Students with special needs have just as much dignity as those without, right? We have a principle, I believe it was Mortimer Adler, who said the following principle that we subscribe to with all our hearts, right? The best education for some is the best education for all. We believe SPED students have every right to a liberal arts education as well. And we will be offering full SPED service since we are a public charter school. We will be receiving funds from the state and funds from the federal government to help with the cost of hiring specialists who can educate well in the special education arena. We will have intervention staff, and we will have staff to accommodate 504 needs as well. Those aren't SPED specifically, but they fall under Exceptional Student Services web of service. And we will have English as a second language service as well. If there's a more particular question underneath that general question of what about SPED, I'm happy to answer that as we go on. But we will most definitely be serving our special education students with as much vigor and energy as any of our other service students. All right, Keisha, let's go through the next batch of enrollment information. We've got some eager beavers in the crowd. We want to know more about dates, when to do what.
Okay, I am excited to give you all this information. Of course, I wish I had some shakers so that I could show you just how excited I am. Open enrollment begins on this Saturday at 8 a.m. Once again, this Saturday at 8 a.m. That open enrollment period will end on December the 12th at 5 p.m. If a lottery is needed, that lottery will take place on December the 15th. And as we stated before, all offers will go out on December the 19th. So remember to sign up for email and text notifications. How to enroll, the 1 in a million question. How do I enroll? How do I apply? So registration starts once you get that offer letter. Registration must be completed by January the 9th of 2023 to keep your seat. If not, the offer may be rescinded and a new application must be submitted, okay? We have a certain window that we can offer applications, and we have to close that window. And on January 9th, that window will close for all applications and registration. It will not reopen until January the 16th. Then we have what is called our regular rolling application window, which is going to be on a first come, first served basis up until July 31st of 2023. How to apply? You're going to go to greatheartsharveston.org. Once again, greatheartsharveston.org. There's going to be a button that says apply now. Click on that button. Once you click on that button, it will open up a new window to our enrollment platform, which is called SchoolMint Enroll. From there, you'll create a parent account. Remember, in that parent account, it's going to ask you to set your notification preference. As a rule of thumb, I always suggest select email and text. We don't want you to miss those notifications. From there, you'll add a student to your account. If you have multiple students, each student has to have their own separate addition to your account. So you cannot put two students' name on the same account, okay? So always remember, if you don't do that, we'll catch it on our end and we'll give you a phone call and say, hey, I need you to go back in and create another student, okay? Once you create your students and add your students to the account, you'll only have the option to select one school, and that is Great Hearts Harveston. Once you select the school, complete the application, you'll press submit. Once the application is submitted, you'll receive an email notification that your application has been received. So another thing that we have done, I will be working all weekend to answer any questions or troubleshoot any items you may have or things that may arise with your application process. So how you would get in touch with me over the weekend is you'll just go to our greatheartsharveston.org website, and there will be a little chat button that you can get me live from 8 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday.
All right. Thank you, Keisha. Once again, when does open enrollment start?
Open enrollment starts this Saturday. And
This
I am
Saturday.
excited. I am excited. I am so excited. I have been preparing for this day, and I am elated, and I cannot wait to see everybody's application come in.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Some of us live for the classroom. Keisha lives to invite you into our school full of classrooms. Okay, Keisha, we're going to go to some pre-submitted questions, but first I want to make sure everybody has a chance to submit the questions that they have in their chat bars. Go ahead and take some time now. I'll build in about 15 seconds. If you would like to submit some live questions, go in your Facebook feed and your YouTube. That's the name of it, the YouTube feed. Go ahead and submit any questions you may have to those chat functions. I'll build in just a little bit of silence now, give you some time to do that. All right, we'll go on to some pre-submitted questions here. What days and times does the school meet? Are there extracurriculars offered? All right, as a public charter school, and as part of our model, we meet every day, and we will meet every school day, Monday through Friday, and we will meet from the traditional window of usually around that 8 to 3:30, 7:45 to 3:15. We're still finalizing the schedule, but our school day will fit within that window. So we'll meet every day, every school day, Monday through Friday, in that 7:45 to 8:15, 3:15, 8 o'clock to 3:30 window, somewhere in there. Are there homeschool days? This is a great question. But it is not part of our model. Our model is built on offering a thriving and vibrant liberal arts education in the building every day. Homeschool days are not part of our model. Our class is taught in person. Very fair question. Ever since the pandemic, all of our classes are taught in person. All of our classes are taught in person with 2 educators per every classroom in the lower school, grades K through 5, and 1 educator in the upper school classrooms who is more of a specialist in those subjects. How is the school funded? Wonderful question. Keisha, you're welcome to chime in here, but we are a public school in the state of Louisiana. That means when we have students who attend our school, we get attendance monies for each of those students from the state, and then some federal monies when it comes to special education students and students who have particular needs. We get some money from the federal government as well. However, since we are a charter school, we do not get as much money as your regular parish school. So we also offset that with some community investment and fundraising and some private efforts that we have on the side. How is it tuition free? Wonderful question. Our curriculum and our educators are excellent, and this is a curriculum that many are used to seeing in private schools, but I can assure you we are a public school. As I just mentioned, we receive attendance monies from the state and the federal government. We also do some fundraising and community investment of our own. That's how we're tuition free. Is the school faith-based? Is the school non-secular? As I mentioned, sorry, excuse me there. We are a public charter school. We are not affiliated with any particular denomination, any particular religion. We are a public charter school. We are not a faith-based entity. We study history, we study literature, we study philosophy. Some of the people we study believed in certain things, but we do not ask students to believe what they believed. What curriculum does the school use? Excellent questions. So in grades K through 5, I'll list off some of these. I'll list off some of the major curriculum vendors. We have, for mathematics, we have Singapore Mathematics for grades K through 5. For literacy and phonics, we have Spalding Phonics. For history and science, we have Core Knowledge, E.D. Hirsch's Core Knowledge curriculum. For the upper school in mathematics, we will be following the Carnegie math sequence. We also have Lingua Latina for our Latin track, and I believe we have the well-trained mind. I will verify that in email. A correction if I need to. I believe we have the well-trained mind for some grammar, but most every other curriculum we have has been generated in-house by our national curriculum team. Do the kids wear uniforms? Yes, the kids will wear uniforms. They will be part of our culture so that we can put an emphasis on our intellectual commonalities and our intellectual achievements. It'll be a pretty traditional uniform of polos, slacks, skirts, etc. Is this part of the EBR school system? We are chartered through the East Baton Rouge Parish school system. We have access to those resources, and we will follow their guidance and their accountability measures. I love this question too. This is a wise parent. How can I be assured Great Hearts Harveston won't go under? This is a good question, and I'll say a few things, right? We have a source of income that depends on attendance. So as long as students are coming into our building, we are getting income from the state. We do not take tuition fees, right? We get money from students showing up. We get that from the state, et cetera. And we also have, with that money, we have a national finance team, which gives us guidance. And we have regular budget check-ins with the finance team who have many decades of experience and who are used to guiding nonprofits with finance. I also have a board that we report to, the Great Hearts Louisiana board, who oversees our finance and with whom we have regular accountability checks on our budget. So we have guidance, we have a renewable source of income, so long as we keep people coming in the door. So tell your friends, have your friends come to Great Hearts Harveston as well. We have a renewable source of income, and we have accountability checks and guidance built in to our model as well. That's what we pledge to do. All right. Okay, here we are. Keisha, would you mind? Let's go through some of these live questions that are submitted. We got a number of good ones here. Will transportation be provided? Will transportation be provided? Keisha is the director of campus operations, which is everything that needs to happen to make the school, everything non-academic that needs to happen to make the school successful. Can you talk to us about transportation?
Absolutely. We will definitely be providing transportation. As long as you live, I think it's farther than a mile away from the school. We're still working out the logistics on that. I'm in continuous meetings with several vendors to decide on which company is going to give us the best package. I want to make sure that our children are safe. I don't want you all to have to worry about their safety from coming from the bus stop to getting to the school. So I'm going through a very extensive process on selecting the right vendor for that service. Very good.
Very good. Thank you, Keisha. All right. Very good question up here. We currently homeschool from Ms. Adrian Pedraza. What information is needed for the application, aside from the address, phone number, et cetera? Any student work samples needed? Any test results needed, Keisha? What information is needed from our beloved homeschool families?
That is an awesome question, and thank you for asking that. With homeschool, of course, we'll need some type of documentation that you were with Louisiana State Department of Education approved homeschool. So any type of documentation you have from them saying that they approved your curriculum and your home study program, we will need that documentation. If you have any test scores or any work that you want to submit prior to the beginning of the school year, we ask that you do that. But yeah, so if you have anything that will help us make sure that we're placing your student in the correct grade and we can assess their needs ahead of time, yes, we definitely want you to go ahead and submit that to us.
Well done. Well done. Thank you, Keisha. All right, I'm going to sprinkle in some non-enrollment questions here. Can my student bring a packed lunch? I love this question. What I will say is that absolutely, absolutely. My son's this way. There are certain things he gains a lot of comfort from eating that my wife or I make. And students are definitely allowed to bring their own packed lunch. For those of you on the other end of the spectrum who are wondering, can my student purchase lunch or receive lunch if we present certain economic obstacles? Yes, that can happen. We will have a full service kitchen. right? We will have a full service kitchen where food is prepared on site as well. All right. Let's go to this next question. You have talked about athletics. Will there be spirit squads, cheer, dance, etc.? I want to set expectations here, and I want to be fair. I have talked about athletics, and I anticipate being able to offer in the fall. I anticipate being able to offer flag football, volleyball, and cross country. And in the spring, basketball and soccer. And in the winter, basketball and soccer. And in the spring, cross country, softball, and baseball. Pending that we have significant student interest, I intend to offer those sports. What our model has shown us thus far is that we typically haven't had significant enough offers to offer dance as an organized athletic spot. But we have had numbers enough to offer Spirit Squad as a club, or and more formal international dance as a club as well, but nothing as an organized sport yet. That's what our numbers have shown us thus far. If we get sufficient numbers, I'd be open to exploring it. All right, back to enrollment questions, Keisha. Will we have instructions for registration this Saturday, and will we get a copy of the presentation?
If I could give you a copy of the presentation, I would. It will be available for you to stream through again. We may be able to get some quick tidbits together and send it out in the newsletter. So make sure you're on our interest list to get that information. I'll work all night tonight to put it together if that, will help make everything easier. But I can guarantee you, we chose a platform that was very, very simple. If you have one scholar that you're applying for, it should take you for the entire process no less than 3 to 5 minutes, if even that. It does get a little bit longer if you have multiple scholars, but it still should not take you longer than 10 minutes to complete that. If you have any questions or any problems once you get into that application, please do not hesitate to reach out to me as soon as possible and let me go on the back end and see what's going on. I will tell you one little tidbit that I did not mention. You must live within EBR school district in order to apply Great Hearts Harveston. So in that application, when you go in to select the school, if you don't see Harveston, that means your address is out of district. If you think that is an error, go into the chat and get with me as soon as possible, and I can check it right then and there and let you know what the problem is.
Very good, very good. Heart of service over here. We emphasize hustling and making sure that we serve people according to the particular need. All right, Ms. Nielsen, Mr. Bobby Nielsen again. Do you have a separate class for SPED? We will have a special education resource room, wherein, depending on the academic needs, students may have separate modified classes, but oftentimes what we try to do is educate them in the general education classroom to the greatest extent possible, with a special education teacher or the general education teacher modifying expectations as needed. We just find that special education students grow leaps and bounds when they're in the classroom and participating in the greater academic community. But there will be a separate class for SPED if the academic need demands it, and there will also be a resource room where they can make sure they are getting the space and the comfort and the care that they need as well. All right. Well, 7th graders need to have some knowledge of Latin already. Excellent question. Excellent question. It certainly wouldn't hurt, but we are not expecting them to come in with a mastered body of knowledge in Latin. We are not. We are going to make sure our teachers are aware of the fact that these 7th graders are taking Latin, by and large, for the first time, and we will make sure those expectations are appropriate, and we are not expecting our year 1 students to have a running knowledge of Latin. It's not an expectation. This question, very important. What is your mascot? Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Great Hearts Harveston Hawks. I'd flap my wings if I could right now, but we are the Great Hearts Harveston Hawks. All right, next question. Can parents coach sports? We're still looking into which leagues we are going to be a part of, but I anticipate parents being able to be involved in athletics in some capacity. My estimation, I'm not guaranteeing an answer here, but my estimation is that probably not as head coaches in the upper school, but assistant coaches looks like it's a possibility, but I may have to modify this answer once we get more involved with the LHSAA and other athletic leagues. All right. Will there be an app/online tool to allow parents to see upcoming tests and grades? We are going to have a high level of accountability and a high level of communication between parents and faculty. We will have mid-quarter grade releases where students are taking home a grade report to show to their parents. But by and large, all of the information about upcoming tests and upcoming quizzes and upcoming work and daily work is going to be in the written agenda that they take home with them. That's in the upper school. In grades K through 5, they will bring home a folder every night with all of their graded work. And with all in the upper school, they'll bring home their graded work as well. In the lower school, they will bring home all their graded work, and they will bring home the expectations for homework that night and the upcoming quizzes in the agenda. There will also be a website which reiterates all the information that is in the folder. All right. Well, Keisha, I think we've reached the end of our live questions. So I would just like to ask you if you have any final remarks or any exhortations you'd like to end with.
Absolutely. Again, don't forget to apply. Set your alarm clocks, get your coffee, get your cocoa, do whatever it takes. Have the dog wake you up. 8 o'clock sharp. Saturday, applications will be open, and I am going to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed waiting to see who's coming in first. Also remember, yet again, that you must live in EBR school district. If there is a local EBR public school in your area and your child qualifies to go to that school, that means that you are in district, okay? If there are any questions or any concerns, do not hesitate to reach out to us via greatheartsharveston.org, and there will be a chat button. When you click on that chat button, you will get me live on this Saturday and this Sunday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will be at your service, and it will be me. It will not be a robot. It will be me. So I look forward to seeing your applications come through. I look forward to seeing your scholars' faces. I look forward to working with you throughout the whole process. And if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keisha. Your servant's heart shines right through. And we are so excited to offer the formal entryway into our classical liberal arts academy, Baton Rouge's only liberal arts charter school. We are so excited to welcome you. And this is our formal entryway. Please do wake up early. As Keisha said, she'll be up at darn near 4 a.m. waiting for you. Please do set your alarms and be ready for open enrollment this Saturday, October 8th. Open enrollment. All right. Thank you so much for your interest and for attending the Great Hearts Harveston virtual information night on open enrollment. We will see you soon. As always, we are yours in gratitude. We are Great Hearts Harveston. Thank you.